What's up, everybody? Dog1985. There's levels to this. Yo, shout out to the Living Split Screen podcast, right? Shout out to you guys, man. I was watching their podcast this morning. They're actually still live right now as I'm recording this because I just checked. They're actually still live. So shout out to them putting in that work on a Saturday morning. But I asked this question in the chat and I told them I was gonna make a video about this. My question is simple, okay? I think we can all agree. We can all agree that not only is Xbox definitely embracing the third-party publisher route, or Microsoft, if that triggers you, if the word Xbox triggers you, I'm sorry. There's a support group for that. Maybe I'm going to start a support group for everyone that can't take the word Xbox. Anyways, listen. So we know that Microsoft is going full on out being a third-party publisher, right? But now, I think we can agree that they are one of the biggest, and currently right now, I could safely say they're dominating. Safely say they're dominating. They got games in rotation that are in the top charts, right? Regardless of like, well, yeah, they bought Activision, yeah, they bought, but there's like, yeah, I know, life is not fair. It is what it is. But yes, because of those reasons, right, they definitely got games in rotation that are theirs that are in the top 10 at any given time, right? They've been having a phenomenal year. So easily top, right, publisher, which is crazy because didn't they win publisher of the year a few years ago already? Anyways, that's a whole nother story. So here's the thing. This was my question. With them topping game charts the way that they do, sales charts the way that they do, does Microsoft need Game Pass still? No. Seriously. It's all going to come down to profit for these companies, right? Like, does the money make sense? Does the money coming in make sense, right? So if they're looking at the hardware and it doesn't make sense for them to make the hardware because maybe they're not getting profit from the amount of hardware that they're selling, maybe it doesn't make sense for them to license it out and let somebody else make the hardware, have to deal with all that stuff. That, to me, that makes perfect logical sense. That makes, when people have explained that, the ponies have explained that plenty of times, they're not going to make, that makes sense. Now, some people do believe that we are getting another Xbox proper console coming from actual Xbox, then okay, that's fine. But again, I'm not sitting in those boardrooms. I don't know if it makes sense. All I just know that they're not selling as much as Sony is selling, but that still doesn't mean that they're not making profit from consoles, right? I don't know, right? But if they weren't making profit from consoles, how much longer do you think Xbox would be doing this? When sometimes they'll do that, they'll take a hit on the consoles just so that they can make money off the software. Well, is Game Pass profitable to them? If it is, then I don't see why they would get rid of it. Unless they really believe that they could actually sell more without Game Pass. That's the question that they gotta ask. And I'm wondering what do people think about this? I have this weird thing that I just did that's not very smart. I can admit to you. See, I can admit to you when I'm an idiot. I can admit to you. You see what I'm saying? So if I call you an idiot and you get offended, listen, I can call myself an idiot sometimes too, okay? I beat South of Midnight on Game Pass on PC, okay? I beat the entire game on Game Pass PC. I turned around and then bought the game on Steam. After I had beaten it, it's not like I played it, liked it, and then went ahead and bought it. No. I had beaten the game, and then I went ahead and bought it on Steam. I also bought Forza Horizon 5 on Steam. I also bought Halo Infinite on Steam. These are things that don't make sense. After I had already beaten the game on Game Pass, I can't explain it to you. The best way I can explain it to you is it's a dumb move. It's stupid. It's a waste of money. I can admit that to you. But if Xbox sees, especially now that they got the PlayStation fan base buying all their games, and we know that there's a whole lie as far as Xbox has no games, clearly that was a lie because Xbox just didn't have their games on PlayStation, and that's what really was the problem. Now that their games are going over there, they're perfectly fine playing all these old games, right? But if Xbox sees that maybe it is more lucrative to just sell their games, could they get rid of Game Pass? I don't know. Let me know. The guys in the podcast, go watch it. They had some really interesting takes. the whole point of how long can you trust Xbox for, or just ride this gravy train until Game Pass either becomes too expensive or until it ends, right? Nothing lasts forever. I appreciate that take. And then the other take was Game Pass might be actually exposing more people to these games, and that's why these games might be selling well. So that's a fair take as well. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. I'm just curious. Does Xbox still need Game Pass? I guess that's the question. Does Xbox still need Game Pass if they're going to be publishing their games everywhere, but not just publishing their games everywhere, like selling extremely well? I don't think you could compare them to Sega, because I don't think I've ever seen a time where Sega was dominating the publishing of games or the selling of games like Xbox is right now. Literally like 3, 4, 5 games in rotation. And we already know Call of Duty's still coming out. So it is what it is. Dog 1985, there's levels to this. Let me know what you guys think. We out. Peace.